Let me tell you something most men never say out loud. We do not always fall in love with the right woman. Sometimes we fall into a psychological trap and mistake it for destiny. It does not start loud. It starts quiet. A look, a moment, a feeling that finally someone sees us. And that is where it begins. Most men are not trapped by women. They are trapped by what those women awaken inside them. The hope, the hunger, the unfinished parts of themselves. She feels different, not because she is rare, but because she touches something old, something unresolved. Maybe she is emotionally distant. Maybe she is inconsistent. Maybe she gives just enough attention to keep the fire alive, but never enough to let it rest. And somehow, that inconsistency feels familiar. Men do not chase what feels safe. They chase what feels earned. So when affection comes and goes, the mind does not say this is unhealthy. It says, try harder. Here is the truth that hurts. Men are conditioned to prove their worth, to win love, to fight for validation. So when a woman becomes the prize, the relationship becomes a battlefield. And he mistakes anxiety for passion. He mistakes emotional tension for depth. He mistakes her unpredictability for mystery. Every unanswered message becomes a test. Every cold moment becomes a challenge. And slowly, his self-worth gets tied to her reactions. If she is happy, he feels valuable. If she pulls away, he feels inadequate. Not because she is powerful, but because he handed her the power without realizing it. This is how the trap tightens. He starts to abandon himself. He stops asking, how do I feel with her? He only asks, how do I keep her? He rationalizes the red flags. He downplays the disrespect. He excuses the emotional unavailability, because leaving would mean facing the truth, that the love he was fighting for was never really love. It was a mirror of his own unmet needs. The wrong woman does not trap a man by force. She traps him by reflecting his wounds. And the most dangerous part is the intermittent reward. One good night, one vulnerable conversation, one moment where she opens up just enough. Those moments feel like oxygen to a drowning man. They convince him that if he just stays a little longer, tries a little harder, sacrifices a little more, it will finally work. But it rarely does. Because the dynamic was never about partnership. It was about pursuit, and pursuit is exhausting. Men in these situations often feel ashamed. They think they are weak for staying. They think they should know better. But this is not weakness. It is conditioning. From childhood, many men learn that love must be earned. That effort equals value. That struggle means meaning. So peace feels boring. Stability feels empty, and chaos feels alive, until it breaks them, until they look in the mirror and do not recognize the man staring back. Here is the turning point. The moment a man realizes that love is not supposed to feel like a constant audition, that attraction should not require self-abandonment, that the right woman does not confuse him, she clarifies him. She does not make him anxious. She makes him grounded. She does not test his worth. She sees it. And when a man finally understands this, the spell breaks. Not because the wrong woman changes, but because he does. He stops confusing intensity with intimacy. He stops chasing emotional breadcrumbs. He stops trying to be chosen and starts choosing himself. And that is the hardest part. Walking away not because you stopped loving her, but because you started respecting yourself. Many men are not heartbroken because they lost the wrong woman. They are heartbroken because they lost themselves trying to keep her. This is not a story about blame. It is a story about awareness. And awareness is freedom, because the moment a man understands the psychology of his attachment, he is no longer trapped. He is awake, and an awake man does not beg for love. He builds a life where love meets him there.